Good afternoon. My name is Jules, and I have created this YouTube channel called I Like Me, and it's a channel dedicated to exploring and discussing holistic healing modalities, supporting long-lasting change for mind and body. Today, I have with me a lady called Suzi, whose business name is Soul Sugar Reiki. We connected on a group with regards to a healing event, which I'll explain a bit later on. And I invited her on the show because I just was very, very curious after reading through her website, what it is that she's involved in, her experience, and how it can support long-lasting change and good health. Hi, Suzi. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Hi, good afternoon. Lovely to see you. I'm really good, thanks.
Very good, very good. I'm just going to dive straight into some questions because I was looking through your website and was really bowled over by some of the content that you'd written down there. I could just get a sense of your desire to support people with change and healing.
hmm
And I noticed on your website that you say the phrase Reiki is your passion, and it just
Yeah,
jumped out at me. And I wondered whether you might be able to explain why and why that is, and
yeah,
what and how Reiki found you in the first place.
of course. So before Reiki, I've had a bit of an unconventional past growing up, and I was born in Iran, and when men and women get divorced in Iran, the men get custody of the children. So my dad was fortunate enough to get a lectureship at Essex University, and so he actually brought me and my brother up, and I was probably about 6 when I left my mum, and we came here, and my dad brought us up, and so I that sort of connection with my mother was severed really, and it was very tough life. I can say. I grew up really not being connected to myself, to my mum, or to my dad, because he'd never actually raised children before, and so he did his best. He did his absolute best, bless him. But yeah, I can say I was really very disconnected, very, very disconnected, and really as if I was going through the motions of growing, but I was just empty inside. And so I think and so I suppressed a lot of stuff, and I actually wasn't even aware, of how much I'd suppressed. So I tried counselling, and I think nothing really touched the sides. I was telling my story as much as I could, but it wasn't actually relieving this void that I had inside me. So when somebody said, have you tried Reiki? I'd never heard of it. And I could say I wasn't spiritual, I wasn't religious, I just didn't know what I was, who I was really. So when I tried Reiki after my first session, it was just such a strong, profound experience, because I after I sat up, I just could not stop crying, and I say that, but, it was like a controlled way. Reiki is such an intelligent energy. It sort of really dislodged a lot inside me. So I was able to cry, but then I was a mum. I had to go and do the school run after my session. So, I was able to then get myself together. As soon as I could, then I could be on my own. I just cried and cried and cried. And it was just amazing how much shed off me. And so the lady I went to see, she didn't tell me when to come back or anything, and but I just knew it. I knew it in my heart that was just incredible. I felt so much lighter that I needed to go back again. So 2 weeks later, I went back for another session. I had no aches and pains when I went in there, and I came out with some sort of neck and head pain, and that was explained to me that there was tension leaving my body. Again, I felt so much lighter, and something had really been triggered in me. I was in love. I just knew this was what I wanted to do. So that was where the journey began. And since then, I've been doing my training, and I'm a registered nurse as well. And so I think it's funny how I've always been a healer, and I didn't really, I went into nursing because I care. I'm a caring person. And actually with this, how the Reiki then sort of impacted on my own life. I had months and months where I just went inwards, and, you know, really went deep into myself. And then through, so that was Reiki 1, then there was Reiki 2, and you get deeper signs and symbols, ancient signs and symbols, which then really get to further to the root cause of what your pain is. And so yeah, I was just on a roll then, really. And various things happened in my life. I was married and I got a divorce. Various difficult life thing, you know, changes and circumstances happened, but I was able to hold myself. And where once I had these great big craters of voids, I was feeling more and more whole, and this was Reiki doing this to me. And I was, you know, and I feel I'm a strong person because, you know, resilience has been there. I think, you know, to have not had, yeah, I can't say for everybody, but I'm super grateful that I am a strong person. That's come from hardship. But yeah, but I've always been a very positive person. I've always chosen to think, oh, but at least I've got this, and at least I've got that. And I think that's why my positivity, luckily, that was inherent, brought me to find another way of looking at things. And I refuse to lead another day feeling unhappy or feeling heavy and feeling unfulfilled. I just needed to get to the core of me to find out. And I somehow knew that there was more to life. So I'm just so in love with Reiki. I'm so in love with the role that I have, and to be able to now give to others and make huge, significant changes, help others make, you know, transformative changes in their own lives. And I've seen that so many tales I could tell you of different people, and their hallelujah moments, or the love that comes back into the light that comes back into their eyes. It's incredible.
Well, that's beautiful, actually. Thank you. That's a really honest answer. And I can resonate with some of the things that you said on there. You know, true strength can actually come from hardship, from my own journey. You know, it's like an inner thing that just drives you on. It's like an inner pit of strength that just comes from nowhere, which makes you a very, very capable person, actually. And I can see the passion. I can see the passion. Like, you just light up when you talk about it. And actually, I was going to ask about some of the clients that you'd had, and because you did sort of mention that, you know, the clients feeling substantial change within, which you just kind of alluded to, you know, these hallelujah moments, which are quite frankly life-changing, aren't they? So have you got a couple that you could share, you know, that clients have sort of said about how things have changed within them?
Absolutely. So I think I'll sort of start with maybe so a friend of mine, she was a runner, and she'd really hurt herself and she couldn't run anymore. She was devastated. She was actually not quite sure about Reiki, and so I said, just come and have a try. She came in limping, and then she went off literally walking. She couldn't believe it. It was just like this miraculous thing that's happened. So that was just one that was like, wow. Then there's been a client who comes to mind. She has MS, and her life had really changed tremendously. She'd really lost her confidence. She wasn't able to drive anymore. She wasn't able to do the art that she loved. Her relationships, so much stuff had changed due to this illness. But then she came quite consistently, and I think, and why that is because, you know, after the one session, some people say, oh, I feel quite relaxed, that was good, and then you'll not see them again, because it's very much a meant to be thing. Reiki, it wasn't there meant to be. But others, it sort of lights up something in them. And so this lady came, she probably had about 5 or 6 sessions. And afterwards, that she was just praising and just saying, my goodness, I can drive on the motorway now. I've gone back to the art that I love doing. My relationships have improved, my own personal, my self-love, my boundaries. I know what to say no to and what to take. You know, the difficult relationships that I've had with all my family, that's improved because I'm actually honoring myself. So there's that. And then there's another story where there's this guy who actually got Reiki gifted to him, And he came, and he was such a huge disbeliever. He was like, oh, I'm just here because it's a gift. And it was incredible, because now he's just shining with it. He's made significant changes in his life, and he's really, because he's aligned, because he's in flow with himself, there's so many good things are happening for him too, you know. And life, that's the thing, life doesn't happen to you. You are then the fat controller, as it were, and you take, you're intentional. You make decisions knowingly, because you hear yourself, because you're in touch with yourself, you know. And then, you know, meditation and Reiki go hand in hand. So I always advise my clients, if they can, to do that, because purely it's about emptying the busy mind. And you know, a lot of reactions with meditation is, oh, I can't do it, I've tried, I just can't do it. But then I say, well, just don't call it that, just focus on your breath. 5 minutes, you know, and the next day 6 minutes, etc. And so the more people do that, the more they then see even more changes. And the whole journaling, that just the whole lifestyle that comes in with it, it's a practice. Then it's a daily practice, and actually people do it, people that find themselves doing this when they never ever thought that they would.
And it's so important, isn't it? Because I've got quite a huge meditation journey myself, and to be able to sit with the thoughts and give yourself distance from them and recognize they're passing through, and they're not stable and fixed, which means, are they, you know, it kind of gives you separateness from this character or this ego or this mind stuff that's playing out, to kind of discover something a bit more peaceful and quiet, a little bit more detached. And I think that's really a profound thing, because you know, we are heavily distracted on our day-to-day basis. You know, we are bombarded with imagery and other such stuff, which can be wonderful to engage with when you kind of want to let your, what I call the monkey mind kind of run away with it. But it is very much distracting from us, from who we really are, and connecting to that source within us that's all powerful and has that conscious ability to create its own reality. You know, so the more I watch my thoughts, the more I recognize, well, I'm not particularly believing in that one, so that one can go, but I'd like to choose this one and believe this one, and then I'd like to create this and believe this, and this will happen, and I'm going to experience this, and next thing you know, your whole world is completely changed, inner and outer.
Absolutely. And when you think on a sort of a physiology level, your nervous system, and how the life that is available to us, if we were to just go with it, no wonder there's so much illness, and no wonder there's so much going on, because people are just really not in touch with themselves. But I think having such a higher power come in and make its mark on you, you then absolutely so in tune, and you know, your boundaries, like I've said before, it's life. You know, I've always sort of had a lust for life, and I think more and more I can safely say that this is heaven on earth. You know, I feel like it is, you know, like, and I feel this is why I'm so passionate, because I see people struggling, and life just does not have to be that hard.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. And we've made it so incredibly difficult for ourselves. And it's fascinating you talk about a higher power, because I know with my own Reiki journey, I sort of studied years ago and kind of went through that process myself. You know, we are in those sessions, it's not coming from us, it's an energy that we're bringing through. That's, you know, how I always used to remember it, or I still remember it now. And it's interesting you talk about that higher power, because you know, there's so many different terminologies for it. I don't feel to go into them all right now, but in effect, by channeling that energy through, you know, you mentioned on your website as well about the chakra system. Now I know that there's quite a lot of information about that. But I just wondered if you might like to summarize a little bit about why that's really important to balance these and have these flowing in the right direction, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we're born, our energy centers are actually quite open, and this is why babies can, you know, and children can be more sort of open and to the other lives, you know, to other dimensions. And so more and more through as you get older, we've got 7 layers to our body, and within the energy body are our chakras, and when they become blocked, so because of how connected we are, mind and body, anything we feel, the primary cause of any illness is an emotional one. So and your anything we suppress, don't talk about, and just brush, they block our chakras. And so then each chakra then is linked to an actual organ. And so this is where illness comes in. And so by this, the beauty of energy healing and any energy medicine is that that flow is regained, but you know, because the energy pushes through and gets rid of all the dense stuff, and knowing that everything's energy, and you know, we're all frequencies and vibrations, and so the more dense you have, law of attraction, you're going to get, you know, attract more dense. And so the energy goes and pushes past all the dense, and you become lighter and lighter and lighter, and you are in flow, and you then so much more in touch with yourself, and different beautiful things come to you then, which are of the same vibration.
For sure. The metaphor that springs to mind, the image I'm getting at the moment when you talk about, you know, the blockages and the flow of energy, is like if you've got a pipe that's been blocked and water's trying to get through and it just can't, and then you know, the water that comes through, or you know, it's like is pushing whatever blockage it is so that it can just completely keep flowing through in that way and come out the other way. So that's the image I just got. So yeah, thank you for explaining that.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And I think, you know, different people can work on different chakras and the, you know, the power of visualizations. But that's the thing. I feel like once you're in touch with yourself, you are motivated to go ahead and do your work, to focus on this stuff that's, you know, and I think because we've been so disconnected, and you know, this stuff is, you have to learn it really and get your head around it. And I think Reiki then really, it takes you from a mundane consciousness to a super consciousness. And once you're super conscious, then we are unstoppable. And it's just so exciting, you know.
It is. Yeah, it is. I mean, my own work looks at hypnotherapy. So you were talking about denser energy, and I've done work with shamanic practices where you kind of help support the transmutation of denser energy to lighter energy. But I tend to look at the subconscious mind, you know, the impact of experiences as through childhood or past lives, which then go on to create patterns of programs of survival and habits and tendencies. And it's a similar thing in terms of the, you know, the dynamics of that, because it's almost like looking at what beliefs are in place to understand how to resolve those issues within the system, to then create a different inner landscape, and which obviously reflects a different outer landscape, doesn't it? You know, you start bringing in more things, you start attracting things differently. Like we were talking just before the call, you know, you start attracting your tribe, because people that just get you. And then you've got this community support that is just so beautiful, actually, because it's incredibly nourishing and wholesome. And I feel that we need pockets of, you know, years and years ago we would have all been living on land together in communities and supporting no matter what happened. And I feel, you know, modern times can often segregate us. So it's quite important to sort of link back to that. And I think you can only link back to that when you realize what programs are at play within you that's creating that separation.
Exactly. And through the journey to the fundamental thing for me is to get out of your head and into your heart. And when you're in your heart, then that's again such a game changer, because you feel, you don't think, you know, and someone radiates towards you, you're able to, you know, use your intuition and just judge, you know, that way instead of others. And actually, again, being able to discern what is this, what's this telling me, anything that you're triggered with, and actually knowing how to handle your triggers, and and yeah, it really is a beautiful day-to-day thing. And to be present, oh my God, to be present, that has been the huge because when you're, again, you just miss out on life when you're living in the yesterday or thinking about the tomorrow.
Sure.
And that's just missing out. And so I think that's another big thing that's sort of changed for me, and what I try to really pass on to my children, to anyone, is just that whole to be present.
Absolutely. And I'm also aware, oh sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Well, I was just thinking, because what you just reminded me about the Reiki principles, wasn't it? So for today, I will not, you know, connect to anger and things like that. And actually, if people, could you just list them off? Would you mind? Just
for today, I will do my work honestly. For today, I will be compassionate and kind to all living things. For today, I will not anger. For today, I will see the beauty. I think I might have forgotten some. But yeah,
perfect. So could you imagine if everyone, you know, just try, as an experiment, just tried that for 2 weeks to see what would happen, you know, what would happen.
Absolutely. And just the whole act of like the kindness. And I think when you start to get it and be kind to yourself, that's it. Then you just see you're compassionate with others. You just naturally are. And just the physiological effects, you know, I listen to Dr. David Hamilton a lot and stuff, and just the whole, I think the what's it called now? Okay, it's gone. But no, it's gone.
That's
but
okay. Some good tips in there then.
Yeah, absolutely. And visualizing 100%. And actually, you know, the whole thing of the universe doesn't know the difference between make-believe or reality.
Absolutely.
And so for you to really know that you've got everything you want, you know, I want to walk in wardrobe. I've got a walking, I haven't, but I have got and just living like that, because again, once people understand this, I think it's more and more they are. That's the beauty of it. I feel like we're in a really positive sort of time in life. You can choose to see the other stuff that's going on, which is obviously, I'm not ignorant to it. I know that's going on, but actually I feel like this is heaven on earth, and I feel like, you know, my worry is not gonna do any good to anybody. So you visualize that harmony, you visualize the best.
Sure. I mean, do you think about monks in, you know, in various other countries, you know, sitting and rechanting Om Mani Padme Hum, you know, that vibration. And also visualization is incredibly strong, you know.
So
children do it all the time. They're in their imaginative, creative space. And what they create out to play is amazing, actually. I remember asking my son when he was about 4 or 5, because he would kind of create these massive things, and I could just see all this activity and all these noises. And I said, when you're playing like this, like what, you know, what is it that you see? And he was like, I see colors and lights. And he was kind of sharing his imagination, and he was like fully in this, and it was beautiful, actually. And I do the visualization with clients at the end of the sessions as well, because it's always, once you've resolved something and you've gotten to the root cause of something, what a beautiful opportunity to then go, right, 100%. What do I want to create in my life? And actually feel it through every pore, you know, like, and then quite often that's going to be their experience as they move. So
exactly, I've got experience of this also, and I think it's locked in then, and I think you can't unsee something you've seen. It's that, you know. So
no, that's right. It's there, and it's going to come into creation.
Exactly.
So
it's just a matter of time.
So go on.
I was just saying, it's just a matter of time, really. All of it. And I think the biggest thing for me, it would be, in summary, self-love. Once you're self-loving to the core, then the rest just flows. And to trust and surrender. That's the thing as well, to trust and surrender. That, again, once you really, really feel that, then it's you just know things are always all right. Things are always good, you know. And just, it's that perspective, having that healthy perspective and positive perspective.
For sure. Sage advice there. Trust, surrender, love yourself.
Yeah,
Not necessarily in that
definitely.
order, whichever order it comes, but yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Trust, that's very sage advice. I just wanted to have a quick chat about so all about love, very briefly, because we obviously connected on the WhatsApp group there. I put myself
Yeah.
down to, I've been to their festivals over the years.
Same.
I've worked
Yeah.
in the healing field, doing the hypnotherapy there in a little teepee.
Uh-huh.
Um, they are amazing, as you are well aware.
Yeah.
And I know they're not having a festival this year, so they've been
Hmm.
creating more sort of pop-up events. Synchronicity at Heaven nightclub is one of them. I was
Yes.
due to work at the last one, but some circumstances happened and I couldn't make it. But
Okay.
how was that for you working? So that basically it's a festival in a day in a nightclub, isn't it? So they have
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
artists, a
Yeah.
healing area, cacao on the go 24/7.
Yeah.
So it's a
Yeah.
12-hour day, isn't it? How was that working in the healing area for you?
Oh, it was absolutely incredible. As you can imagine, the energy in the healing areas, just all these different healing modalities all around, and the vibe was really special. And hearing that gorgeous music behind us, which
Mm,
I adore music, I adore dancing. These are my things, definitely. But yeah, that, and then the people, but actually they then come knowing that the healing area is there. So these are people who, some have never tried any energy healing at all, some know about it, and are sort of connoisseurs of it. And so it was really special. And actually, I'm a great believer in the meant to be's. Yeah, and I never really panic, and I just know, if something's meant to be, it will be. And actually, to really know that those people who came to see me, that was a meant to be, and it was very
mm,
special, you know, to connect like that. This was my
mm,
second one that I did, and each one just super. I've loved it, and I went to the festival as well. I think to just be part of such a movement, you're
mm.
united. It just shows you how connected and united you are. And very special. And I think there's one on the 28th of July actually, so I'm hoping to
Mm,
go to that one as well.
mm. They are well worth it if you want to experience that vibe in a day. You know, it's well worth it.
Exactly.
It's well worth it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and with the sort of great awakening, you know, the more and more, I'm sure if there was a helicopter up in the air, it could actually, you know, look. That's the same with Oming, you know, they can
Mm,
detect these hotspots because the
mm.
energies are so high and
Yeah,
everyone's sort of, yeah,
that's right.
vibrating.
It's the ripple effect, isn't it? And
Yeah,
I saw a JPEG the other day, or some sort of image the other day, which basically said that what we need on this planet is more artists, healers, and creatives. And I feel that, I mean, you know, without going into too much detail of the other, I feel that we're fully in that space. Like, you know, we're fully in that space at the moment in
yeah,
terms of, you know, people discovering more and more things that are sort of right-brained, and just bringing things into balance, because why
absolutely.
not?
Absolutely,
Why not?
absolutely.
We've
This
been
is
on
the
the other
time.
pendulum the other way for quite some time. Let's bring it back and see what can be created on this planet, you know,
It's a joy to
in
see,
the
it's a joy
artist, and
to feel.
yeah, for sure, for
Exactly.
sure.
And I think we've sort of, you know, my belief is we've reincarnated, you know, in this at such a beautiful time. And
Absolutely.
it really is an honor to be a healer, to be alive at this time, and to be so passionate, to be that, you know, make such a positive mark, you know,
Absolutely.
yeah. And I'm also part of two of my friends, we're part of Trinity healers, we call ourselves, three of us. Yeah, my friend does Rahani, and then there's a crystal healer and an Indian head massage as well that goes on. And yeah, we're going to a festival at the end of the month. So it's just a joy. It's a joy,
Yeah,
totally.
absolutely. I fully feel you. And I think when you find something that you're really passionate about, it only can be that, you know, for my own
Yeah,
offerings, I don't feel, it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like
no,
sharing a service, or sharing the facility, it's the facilitating of a space for somebody to be able to do what they need to do, as I have done in my own personal life, you know, and just be
yeah,
able to be
exactly.
not held necessarily, because we, you know, we're sort of strong independent creatures anyway, but just supported in that.
And the
And
empowerment.
you and I, absolutely, and you and I have gone, you know, and many others that I know have gone through our phases of needing a bit of support here and there to be able to launch ourselves into the people that we are now. So paying it forward for me is absolutely paramount.
It's vital, 100%. Same. Yeah. And I think, my children are seeing this as well, and that's just beautiful. They asked for healing, they are sort of surrounded by it. I've got a 14-year-old. She's actually trained in the Reiki one when she was 8, but she's at that stage where she's like, it's turned into a bit of a non-believer in everything, and she'll go, oh, she'll roll her eyes, but she'll go, but Mum, can you do it? Can you do it on me? So,
I think it's quite normal for the teenage years. I also have one that age, and he's a boy, a young man, actually. He's a young man, and he's been around my what I would call my hippie side for quite so many years. So he doesn't really turn a blind eye, but it's just not his thing. And that's absolutely fine. That's his journey to go off, and as the other two as well, it's their journeys to go off and discover what their things are,
Absolutely.
But it's great that they have exposure to various different things from a younger age that are more holistic, I would say.
Yes.
Because it just opens up the possibilities for their lives. What I've noticed, though, is that they are so much more advanced than what I was at their age.
100%.
That's what I will say that. So, the work that my mum's done, the work that I've done ancestrally, and the work that it's a completely different level. So,
definitely. I think karmically they were sort of meant to be born as they are, and to be more indigo, and all those sorts of terms. And that's the thing I was just going to say. Like I said earlier, it's not meant for everybody. And that's their different, respecting people's different journeys. I think when I first came into this, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to save the world. But
it's like, everyone. Some people are like, no. I think we all go through that to some degree, because something lights up within you, and you just want to run out and just grab people. Just let me put my hands on you.
Exactly.
So we have to definitely have to learn to trust, and that is the element of trust, isn't it? The right people will come, not the right people, but the people that need it the most will come, and others will have things seeded, and they may tell families and whatnot, and so the ripple effect continues. So wonderful.
It's love. I really appreciate you doing this. This is just gorgeous, and I'd love to have some swaps, actually.
Sure. When you said about the Trinity healers, I was like, I think I like the sound of that.
Well, this is it. This is our thing, is there? And that's the thing. It might, I just want to personally evolve to be the best version of myself. And I just, as a hobby, I want to go to circles. Me and a friend, we run a sister circle once a month, and it's just, oh my gosh, that's just lush. And so it's about growth for me.
Absolutely. So where are these things? So you're based in which area?
I'm based in Colchester.
And
nice. So once a month there's a sacred women's circle that's run from the Tree Rooms, and Tree Rooms is a host of sort of counselors and psychologists and art therapists and all the different ists, and we're there doing that. And Trinity healers, we actually have an offering once a month. We give taster sessions for just on a donation basis. That's really lovely. For month by month we have different people who, it's just in a coffee shop, and so people can come and just talk and increase their network if they need to, find out about this and that, and try this, and so that's lovely.
More beautiful. Well, I think I should try and make it down there, because you're only in the next county to me, so I'm sure we can figure something out in terms of popping in. I'd love to come and see what you're up to, and perhaps even join one of the circles and come and check it out.
That would be gorgeous. We cover different topics each month, and we're covering cord cutting in this next one coming up. So beautiful. Lots of gold.
Okay, well, Suzi, I want to thank you for your time today, and I will pop your website in the link just below the video, just so that people can get in touch with you if they need to and ask you questions. I'm sure you'll be open to receiving
100%.
contact, even from just inquiries saying, is Reiki for me, and that kind of thing. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
yes.
I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for your time.
Lovely.
And
Thank
be good to
you.
see you soon.
You too, 100%. We'll be in touch. Thank
Okay,
you. Lots of
thanks.
love. Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.